know, of course, and it is a little bit more than 100,000 square kilometers. And so we got a lot of space here for everybody. 2/3 of the population lives here in the southwestern part of Iceland, in the Great Reykjavik area, so to speak. 2/3 live there, here, and then 1/3 approximately outside, out in the country, mostly along the seaside, in fishing villages, and then in the countryside, a few dozens of kilometers from the coast. The center is not, nobody can live there, for a very simple reason. It's cold and difficult, quite inhospitable, glaciers and deserts and high mountains, so it's not possible to go there in the winter, even most of the time. It is only open maybe 3-4 months a year. It's very beautiful in the summer. It will soon open now, probably in in 2 weeks or so, depending on the weather. So a lot of people go there on jeeps or go hiking, but most of the time we are visiting here the regions, the lowlands, the islands around the island. The first settlers came here in the 9th century. 874 is the official year of the first arrival of the settlers, coming most of them from Norway. Settled down here, moved here after a period of internal war in Norway, conflicts between chieftains. Some of them moved over here and decided to start a new life, and they came here and organized a new society and founded a parliament in Thingvellir, which is a national park only 50 kilometers from here. And we've been living here more than 1100 years, and live here in a quite a prosperous society nowadays, living mostly on fisheries, on there are smelting plants here also, heavy metal smelting plants. The tourism is quite important, and all kind of other things. Agriculture is important, has always been, and so on. So it's a Scandinavian model, so to speak. We are related to the Danish, Swedish and Norwegian nations. They are our cousins, so to speak, and it's a welfare state here, based on the same values as we have in Scandinavia, mostly. Town of Vikings. There's a kind of a Viking village of a few buildings down by the harbor, which are built in the old Viking style. It's a restaurant and a little hotel, and they have a kind of a Viking festival in the summer, Viking market and so on. People dress up like Vikings and behave like they suppose they did, just having fun, pretending to be a Viking for 2 weeks. And there's another also speciality, which is the town of elves as well. I don't know if you believe in elves or not. Some people do, and this town is said to be nice for the elves because they're a little. It's quite there are lava fields there, quite rocky, rough lava fields, which sometimes look a little bit like a primitive building. And the story tells, according to the folkloric tales, that the elves, they live in these kind of rock formations, and there are even guided tours. So there's a lady, at least one that I know of, who says that she can talk to the elves. So she does a kind of a elf city walk, and she hears them and sees them and can communicate with them according to her. And it's fun for people, whether they believe in these supernatural beings or not. So the town of Elves and Viking, Hafnarfjörður. There is also a lot of industry here, small industry, like here on the left, for example. And then here ahead of us we have a smelting plant. It's an aluminium factory. This was built in 1969, quite a while ago. And it was built by a Swiss company, Swiss, and does now belong to another company. I think it's a Rio Tinto is the name of it, if I remember right. So it's one might ask, why do they have aluminium factory here? Power plants, which are not far from here, or from hydroelectric power plants that are in quite many places here in Iceland. So all this energy is green. This electricity is it's ecologic, it is green energy, pure energy, no pollution coming from these power plants. And so we have all these natural forces, the waterfalls, and then we have also another very important source of energy, which are the hot springs that can be found in many places in Iceland as well, because it's a volcanic island, and we use it to the hot water comes from there, from sources also in Reykjavik, for example, which means that we have a lot of it, and we heat approximately 90% of the houses are heated with geothermal water, natural water. We are now driving here along the peninsula of Reykjanes. We have these lava fields. Here on the left side, several of them, in fact, and they are a result of 4 volcanic systems here that have been erupting every now and then through thousands of years, millions of years even. And there is the North Atlantic Ridge comes ashore here in Iceland at the end of this peninsula here, and goes all across the country from southwest to northeast, cuts the country in half because it is on the borderline between the North American tectonic plate and the Eurasian tectonic plates. And those two are drifting apart some 2 centimeters each year, which means that there's a lot of tension in the rock beds. For some nowadays, there are hundreds of earthquakes here every day, but very small ones, most of them. And so there's a tension in the bedrock around this crack. And then we have under the center of the country, we have a plumage, a magma plumage, or a hot point, which creates a lot of pressure also from below. So the interaction between the forces from below and the tension between the 2 tectonic plates means that there are frequent earthquakes here, and we have also frequent volcanic eruptions. In average, we have a volcanic eruption every 4 years. And the last one, which was quite spectacular, was here in Reykjanes last year. And they expect there might be another one coming up shortly. It might be soon, but of course soon doesn't mean But on a human scale, it can be next week, next month, or in 10 years. Or it's very difficult to predict. But all these volcanoes, all the country in fact is monitored quite closely by satellite points and seismographs and so on. So our scientists should be able to warn us if something is coming up. So this is there are no added substances. This is very natural. It's natural water. That is there's new water in every 24 hours, so it's very clean and proper. And that's why before people go into the lagoon, they have to have a shower. And the best is to not to put on your swimming suit. You have a shower naked, and then you put on the swimming suit and you go into the lagoon. And then after the lagoon, you have another shower to wash off the salt water, which is because it is hot seawater that has been filtered by the lagoon. Here we are. It's important, there are a lot of people here, as you see, a lot of cars, and that's why it's very important to that we stay together as a group, don't go together. I got a watch for everybody, so it's important to queue up there. You get a short pass. It's 25 to 4 now, nearly 2.5 hours, which is quite good. You will really hope you enjoy your bath here. So it's important to be on the coach here again at 6 o'clock. Do not wait for me in the lobby, but the coach will be here in front of the buildings where we are. Other coaches are here on our right hand side. Jú, það er langt fyrir best. Það er ekki vinsælt að stoppa lengi hér. Þetta var dropp-off. Má ekki droppa bara af hér? Jú, So here we are. We'll all get together here in front of the sign.